Hello everybody, welcome back to my LinkedIn Lives. I'm Jasmine Navarro, Certified Wellbeing Expert and recently qualified RTT therapist, working with educational institutions and companies, helping them support their family wellbeing challenges. And as you know, every week I interview different experts who make a difference. And today I am beyond excited to be interviewing Marisa Peer, the world-renowned therapist, creator of RTT and I Am Enough movement, and also the school's RTT program. So, hi, Marisa. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's an absolute pleasure. So, the first question I want to ask you is, who is Marisa Peer? For the few people who don't know.
Gosh, that's a question that requires a long answer. Well, I'm a therapist in my heart. I guess I've always been a therapist since I was in my early 20s. I love being a therapist. I think it's the best job in the world because you get to make a difference and have an impact. And then after 30 years of being a therapist, I created my own method of therapy known as RTT, which means rapid transformational therapy. So now if you ask me who I am in terms of work, I say, well, I'm a therapist. I'm a speaker. I speak all over the world. I'm a trainer of rapid transformational therapists. I'm a writer. I've written 7 books. I'm currently writing 2 more simultaneously. So I guess I'm a writer, speaker, therapist, and creator of a brand new therapy that's amazing, that's changing people's lives. And I've trained almost 20,000, including you. You're one of them. I've trained nearly 20,000 therapists all over the world in this amazing technique. So that's who I am professionally.
Amazing. And personally?
Personally, well, I guess the labels. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a recent grandmother. I'm staying with my daughter's house at the moment with her little baby who's just adorable. He's given me so much joy. I'm a friend. I'm happy. I'm a very happy, positive, optimistic person. I love my life. I feel very fortunate that I have such a great life. But I think a lot of that has to do with I have the attitude. You have to choose to be happy, choose to be positive, choose to be optimistic, and choose to live in the moment and with a great sense of gratitude.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Marisa Peer. Right, so we're going to talk today about unlocking potential RTT in schools, supporting children's growth. So before we talk about the amazing program that you've created for schools, can we just dig a bit more into RTT? So you mentioned it's rapid transformational therapy. Can you tell us a bit more about it and how it's different from other therapeutic approaches?
Well, the therapeutic approach used to be, because remember, therapy was invented really around about the 50s, where people had a lot more time. For women especially, life was slower, and we could go to see a therapist every Friday at 2 o'clock and talk about our problems. But that doesn't really work anymore. I always think going to therapy should be like going to the emergency room. If I went to the emergency room and said, hey, my tooth's fallen out, or I've dislocated my knee, or I've got a terrible pain, they would fix me there and then, because their job is to take you out of pain. A doctor, a dentist, a chiropractor takes you out of pain. A therapist, weirdly, keeps you in pain for a long time by working on building a relationship with you. And when people turn up in pain, whether that's the physical pain of having tension, headaches, or irritable bowel, or the emotional pain of saying, I can't find love, I seem to self-sabotage, I can't progress in my career, it's all pain. And I wanted a therapy that was rather like going to ER, that said, turn up with your pain and you're going to leave without it. So I created something very different. It's very powerful and it's super effective. And it's rather different because when someone comes in and says, hey, I can't stop binge eating, I can't sleep, I'm terrified of getting on an aeroplane or anything else at all, the first thing is to understand nobody is born unable to sleep or with a fear of getting on a plane or unable to stop eating. That just isn't even comprehensible to a small child. So we know that these habits are acquired and the brain always goes backwards. Barry White reminds me of being at school. Apple pie reminds me of my grandma. That smell of vanilla reminds me of being on holiday. So the brain always goes back. Smells, sounds, taste take us back. So RTT takes you back in the first 5 minutes to why and how and where did you get these acquired habits or behaviors or fears or phobias or addictions. You're not born with them. Let's go back and find out when you got them, why you got them, how you got them, and why they're still there. So the first step is to get this very important information. When you've got it, the next step is, what do you do with it? Well, you kind of renegotiate with a brain that is no longer relevant or appropriate or necessary or even interesting. And then finally, you rewires, like being a coder, you code into the brain. So imagine someone came in and said, I can't speak in public. I'm terrified of public speaking. I break out in a sweat. I have to give a presentation at work, but I can't do. I don't go for any jobs that involve speaking. So no baby says I can't cope with being the focus of attention. In fact, they love it. So we go back, and it's often maybe having to read in class at school, getting it wrong, everyone laughs. And then we renegotiate with the brain and go, look, that made sense when you were 8, but you're not 8, you're 38, about to get this great job, give a speech at your wedding, whatever it is. You're not that child. Whatever the fear was, it made sense, but it now doesn't. So we find the cause, renegotiate with the brain to let go of the cause, and then we make a recording that says things like, you love speaking, you're a phenomenal speaker, you find speaking in public as easy as speaking to your best friend on the phone, because the mind learns by repetition. So we are rewiring and recoding the brain. It's called neuroplasticity. And RTT uses many things: CBT, NLP, neuroplasticity, quantum physics, neuroscience. It uses a lot of really powerful techniques. And the whole thing takes about an hour and 15 minutes. And most clients change in the room. They go away and go, well, I gave that speech. I got on the plane. I stopped biting my nails. I lost 40 pounds. I stopped drinking, whatever. So it's very powerful because it does everything at once. Some therapy looks for the cause, and some therapy tries to give you suggestions to change. RTT does all of it together and more in one session. And that's why it's so good.
Amazing. So yeah, it's really about addressing the subconscious beliefs that maybe we don't know we have, but they're affecting our lives and stopping.
The very fact that there's, most people say, I don't know why I drink. I don't know why I sabotage every relationship. I don't know why I procrastinate or self-sabotage or scream at my kids. Often we don't know, but even when we do know why,
yes,
we still do. People say, you know what? People will say, I know why I drink because I'm insecure. I know I eat because I'm anxious, but I can't stop. So knowing why is very helpful, but you have to combine knowing why with this renegotiating with the brain. Whatever you're doing, the mind thinks it's useful. If you say, I blush when I have to speak to people, or I have all these different phobias, the brain thinks, no, these are helping you in some weird way. The brain believes that certain things we do, like self-sabotaging a relationship, is useful because then we're never going to get dumped. So we have to go back and understand that if you haven't got what you want, your mind thinks, well, you don't want it. And if you've got a lot of what you don't want, your mind thinks, no, this is quite useful. Even something silly as biting your nails. While you're busy biting your nails and biting that one hand, you're not thinking about, oh my God, I've got to give a presentation, or haven't got enough money to pay the rent this month. So it's like a distraction. So the brain is very good at acquiring beliefs. It's really good at letting them go. So you've got to investigate, interpret, interrupt, and install a new one all at the same time.
Amazing, amazing. I mean, I can even say from my experience, just uncovering one limiting belief that I had has completely changed my life. So I can just imagine how, well, I know how transformative it is because I've experienced it myself. So absolutely brilliant. And Angela says, this is not only interesting, but useful for people like me who want to understand the what, how things are happening and do something there and then. And Ashlyn says, I absolutely love that. Choose to be happy. Right. So going on to your amazing project with schools. So why do you think RTT is effective for children?
The job of every parent and the job of every school is to do one thing: raise the child's self-esteem. Now, schools don't do that. They're very busy, of course, trying to raise the child's academic results, and parents don't even know how to raise a child's self-esteem. However, if you as a parent or teacher raise a child's self-esteem, they will do so much better academic. They won't be tempted to take drugs or self-harm or get into gangs or do the wrong stuff. So children need something called emotional resilience. It all sounds great, but there's no manual to be a parent. And most schools with the greatest intention get very caught up with academic results. So we come in and go, hey, don't worry about that. We've got a program for emotional resilience. It's not a lesson. It's quite fun. We teach children how to have an inner cheerleader who believes in them. We teach children how thoughts are things. We do something called the ladder of looping thoughts. They see a thought creates a feeling, which creates a behavior. Instead of changing the behavior, let's go back and change the thinking. If we're working with a child who's a bully, we don't work so much on the bullying behavior, on the thoughts. that are causing the bullying behavior, because here's a rule of the mind: thoughts come in front of everything. So we're doing a lot. We have a triangle of thoughts, a ladder of looping thoughts. We have something called your diamond of brilliance. We
Tiny
have something
diamond.
called
Yeah.
the bow and arrow, and we have a lot of tools that show children.
Yeah.
Like with the shiny diamond, we have a huge, obviously fake diamond, and
Yeah.
each child sticks stickers on it saying things like, I'm not good enough, I can't do maths, nobody likes me, I look stupid. And then we show them what they've done. They've covered up their own brilliance, and we have them gradually remove each sticker while saying, but that's not true, I do matter, I am a smart kid, people like me. So we're making it fun. It is fun. It is not work. It's not another lesson. It's fun. Children love it. They love this cheerleader who believes in them. And they'll say things like, wow, my cheerleader helps me. And to them, the cheerleader is so real, but the cheerleader is just the part of your brain that believes in you. And of course, the mind can't go into two different directions while you're working on believing in yourself. And hearing that, you can't be working on the inner critic that says you're no good, no one likes you, you can't do that. So we're doing two things. We're shutting down the inner critic and turning up the cheerleader who believes in you, supports you, and cheers you on. And the boy recently said, well, no one is cheering for me, I now cheer for myself. And I love that, because that is resilience. I can do it. You see,
Yeah.
children are dependent. They depend on us for praise and support and feedback. But it's great when they say, well, when the days I don't get it, I can give it to myself. I can be my support. I can be my cheerleader. I can believe in myself, because self-belief is so important to all of us, but there are no lessons on how to get it. So we've come in throughout the Gulf when we're teaching teachers and teaching children how to have emotional resilience, high self-esteem, high self-worth, and powerful self-belief, because it doesn't matter how talented you are. Doesn't even matter how loved you are.
Yeah.
If you don't have self-belief, you got a key part of your happiness missing, but we teach you how to get it, how to keep it.
And in a fun way. And I think as well, somebody once said self-belief is something that nobody can take that away from us. So if you have that as a child.
Of course, well, the word, if I say to you, Jasmine, I hold you in the highest esteem, that's what I think of you. But esteem means what, self-esteem means what I think of me. So I can esteem others. But self-esteem is what I think of me. You can't give it to me.
Yes.
And the thing is that when we can raise our sense of self-worth and self, even as 7-year-olds, as 8-year-olds, as 6-year-olds, we now have this emotional resilience which sends us out into the world armored. We just cope so much better with high resilience, high self-esteem, high self-worth. These are so important. We should all be taught in schools how to have these. I've always wanted to have this
Yeah.
in school from the first year, and now we're doing it.
No, amazing. And to be honest, I've just learned all of these tools myself, like in the last 5 years, like the importance of self-belief. So I was a bit late to the game, but I can just see, even just me, myself, if I'd had these tools and techniques that I've learned from you, from your program, at school, my life would have been so different. I mean, I don't have any regrets, but you can see how the decisions you make when you're not confident and you don't believe in yourself, you make crappy decisions, basically, don't you?
And
For
also,
yourself.
what's so amazing is parents come and go, hey, my kid's got this cheerleader. I would like a cheerleader. You're working with my child on resilience. Could you come to my office and teach my
Yes.
team? So even parents say, gosh, I don't have this stuff. And if you don't have it, how can you pass it on to children?
Yeah.
Because children learn very much what they live. But I love the fact that parents are learning from their children, saying, I would also like a version of this emotional resilience for myself, because our life is so much better with emotional resilience.
Totally. Thanks so much. And Nora just says, hi Nora, how are you doing? What are some practical things we can do as parents? I mean, you have mentioned a lot to raise self-esteem to our teenage children.
There's a couple of things. What children need more than anything is to be present with them, even as teenagers. So get off the phone, switch off the television, shut down the computer, and talk to them. And don't judge them. I used to say to my daughter, darling, whatever you do, I'll always support you. And if you tell me the truth, I will never, ever punish you, which is hard when they tell you some amazing things, alarming things. But you must be, for a teenage kid, you have to be the safe place. And you have to be the safe pair of arms where they go, I told my mum I went shoplifting after school with some friends. I didn't want to do it, but they were, and I felt left out. So I had to do it. But I could tell my mum and she wouldn't judge me. She'd say, that's not okay. You're going to get into trouble. Don't do it again. But I'm here listening to you. So you always want to be a place where your child, I've worked with kids who won't go home. They run away. They go, oh my God, I got pregnant. My mum will never speak to me again. And we want to be the people that say, look, I don't want you to come home pregnant. I don't want you to come home having stolen some stuff, but I want you to come home knowing that this is a safe place and I will not judge you. I will listen to you. So never punish your child and make them know that you will always be there to listen. Be present no matter how old they are. They always want to know that you will never judge them, that you'll always be there, that you'll support them. You can still have boundaries. And also
Yes.
point out what they're good at. Even kids of 16, when you say, you're very funny, you're so kind to your grandmother, you're really great with the dogs, they love you, you're amazing at art or singing. Children need a feedback.
Yeah.
And they're so down on themselves at that age, so critical. They judge themselves from social media. But we all need a soft place. Well, we all need a pair of arms. For me, my grandmother was that, and if that you have one person in the
One.
world who believes in you, just one, you'll always be okay. And often I am that one for many kids. I see how important it is to have someone believe in them. So
Yeah.
believe in your children. And when they're having a bad day and they've got spots, and just say, darling, this is your life today, but it's not your life. It's just today you've got spots. Your friends are being really mean and you're hating school. I hate that for you, but this is not your life. It's your life. So your life is amazing. In another year, you won't have any spots. You'll look amazing. You won't be in that school. And so you can cope with anything if it's temporary.
Yes.
What I
Yes.
call PPP. Is your problem permanent? Is it all pervasive? Is it personal? And even though our kids at 16 roll those go, oh God, mum, they actually like it. They still
Yeah.
need you. They're not fully adult. So if you can say this is not permanent, it's not even personal, and it's not going on all the time, it really helps them. And help them to believe in themselves, help them to say, I matter, I'm smart, I have a talent. I don't know what it is, but I have something to offer the world. So tell them, you're here for a reason. You've got something to offer, and there's no one else in the world exactly like you, and you are meant to be here.
Yeah. Oh, I
We,
love
we
that.
all want to feel that we have meaning, purpose, and impact. And a lot of kids drift along and think, well, what have I got to offer the world? A lot, a huge amount. Even if you don't know what it is, you have a lot and you matter.
Oh, I love that. And from what you're saying as well, it seems like it's about having the courage to have these honest conversations and addressing
Yeah, and
these.
the other thing as a parent you must do is apologize to your kids a lot. Go to your kid and
Yes.
go, darling, today I was cranky, today I was distracted, even when they're 17 years old or 15, go into their room and say, today I should have done better. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. I wasn't present. I wasn't attentive. And you deserve better. Because if a child is neglected by you, then they're going to find a person to date who neglects them and it will feel familiar. But if you can build up, you deserve more, you're worthy of love, you're worthy of respect, you're worthy of time, then when they start dating, they think, well, I'm only going to be with someone who treats me as if I'm worth it because that's what my parents have shown me all my life. So don't just do it, show it.
Oh, that's so important. Yeah, no, brilliant, brilliant. And going back to well, emotional resilience, you mentioned about how RTT addresses helps children become emotionally resilient, because nowadays so many children are suffering from feeling lonely, stress, anxiety. So can you tell us a bit more about how RTT equips the students to manage these uncomfortable emotions?
Well, from children from the age of 5 right through until 18, of course,
Yes.
the program is different. We have a program from 4 to 7, 7 to 11, 11 to 14, and 14 to 17. So we have different programs addressing a different child's need. So a
Yes.
child at 5 has a need to be connected, but so does a child of 17. It's a different kind of connection. So we have a program. Each week, the school can decide to do 45 minutes a week, and that can be as part of the class. Learning can also be part of the assembly. It can be an after-school activity. The school gets to choose. So it's really less than 2 hours a month. And each will depend on the child. If you're like in Dubai, an expat school, that's very different to being in San Francisco, where they have these very high achievers with mothers and fathers who are pushing them a lot, which is different to an inner city school where the kids feel, well, no one cares about me, and I may take myself to school. I don't even have any lunch money. So it's different, but each thing is aimed at giving that child an incredibly high sense of self-worth. I matter. I'm smart, I'm lovable, I'm enough. In fact, a school in Spain wrote to me and said, we took all the kids who were the bullies and we had them say, I'm enough, I matter. And one of them said, I don't even know why I'm crying here, but I'm crying because, of course, nobody wakes up and says, hey, my life is so great, I think I'll go and ruin another kid's life. So we all need to feel we're enough, we matter, we're significant. And we're here for a reason at any age. And so what the RTT program does with every age of students, using different tools and props and fun activities, which are very different for a 6-year-old to a 16-year-old, what it does is each prop, each activity is making that child believe I matter, I'm worth it, I'm enough. Because these are the needs. We need to feel significant, connected, loved, and safe. And part of that is safe to say it to ourselves. I matter. I mean, everyone on this call, if you could wake up every day and say in the mirror as you're cleaning your teeth, well, obviously when you finish your teeth, I matter, I'm enough, I'm significant, I'm safe, I'm lovable, safe to express myself, safe to be myself. And every school that is doing this will tells us that bullying just disappears. Every parent will say, you've made such a difference to my kid. They were so freaked out about their exams, and yet they sailed through them. They felt they had no friends, and now they're always coming home with friends and having play dates. So our needs are to feel significant, connected, loved, safe, and enough. They are needs. When we're small children, we depend on our parents to meet these needs. But at 17, 18, we're beginning to think, wow, I can actually meet some of these myself, and I can say I matter, I'm enough, I'm significant, I'm loved, and it's safe for me to be myself in the world. Because if you believe that, it's such a game changer. You see, when your needs are not met, as a child, you only do one of two things. You give the needs away or you give them up. You say, well, I'm never going to make friends, so I've given the need up, or I'm going to find someone in my life and they're going to look after me. So we give the need away. But actually, the most powerful thing is to begin taking responsibility. Responsibility means an ability to respond. So we point out what these needs are. We have them our entire life. They never go away. But we can begin to think, okay, if my need is to feel loved, I can say I'm lovable, I'm lovable, I'm lovable every day. And eventually it will become true because your mind doesn't know and it doesn't care if what you're telling is true or false, useful or useless, helpful or hurtful. It doesn't care, it lets it in. It's like putting lotion on your skin. It will go in whether it's organic or full of chemicals. And so we're teaching people to meet their unmet needs. Your mind's job is, after all, is to make your thoughts real. But your job is to think, if I think a sad thought, my eyes are going to fill up with tears. If I think an embarrassing thought, I might go bright red. If I think of food, my stomach might rumble. And the placebo, what I think of a drug will affect me more. What is actually in that drug. So here's the fact. It's a fact that your mind is working to make your thoughts real, whatever they are. But here's another fact. If you think better thoughts all the time, then your brilliant mind can start to make those better thoughts. Well, that's as simple as saying, I'm not going to say I'm scared. I'm going to say I'm excited. I'm not going to say I'm anxious. I'm going to say I'm calm. I'm not going to say I'm going to say I'm ready. So just flipping a simple thought. I'm ready. I'm calm. I'm prepared. I'm excited. I've got this, as opposed to I'm anxious. I'm nervous. I'm not ready. So we teach people to be the CEO of their mind, to think better thoughts, which gives them much better results.
Fabulous. And even, I was lucky enough to deliver the RTT challenge in many schools in Dubai. And just in 5 days, day one, you go in, children are saying, my best friend is my iPad, or I don't have any friends. Even children were crying as well the first day. But roll on to day 5, they've all got their inner cheerleader. They found a friend in themselves,
Yes, and you probably remember we had a little boy in the class who said, I don't make friends. Being expats, he'd had 3 friends over 3 years, and each friend left. And by the time it happened, he made a decision, which is, okay, if I never make any friends, they can never leave. And so we had to say, but darling, let's look at it a different way. You've made a friend every year. Of course, they've gone, but you can make another friend and another friend because you're able to make friends. So we're reframing their thinking. And we see children on day 1 who won't put up their hand on day 5. They're talking to the press about this program and say, my mum wants to do it. I've shown my dad all these magic things because we show them certain things about how when you think a thought, it becomes real, and they go home full of enthusiasm.
Yes, teaching
And they
their parents.
don't, they don't anymore like lose themselves in an iPad. I mean, it's such a shame when a kid says, my iPad is my friend, or I have anger issues. Like, darling, you don't have anger issues. You have a tantrum. That's what kids do. It's called age appropriate. It's okay to have a tantrum. It's okay to feel sad, but it's not okay to label that tantrum anger issues, or to label the sadness depression. You don't have depression. You're just a bit sad because your needs aren't being met. We're going to help you identify those needs and get them all met. And now you feel like a winner all the time. And it really is so rewarding. And, one day all schools will do this because our job is to help the next generation
Yes.
have powerful self-belief, and to do it for ourselves too.
Exactly. And I think even like when I was delivering the challenge, it was helping me.
Of
So it
course,
just,
yeah.
you help them, they help you. It's just that
Yeah,
positive.
it's a wonderful feedback. When you give to other
Yeah.
people, you receive. When you show people what they need, you're also showing yourself. When the
Yes.
student's ready, the teacher appears, but the teacher's also the student. We're learning it too. We're applying it, and we're changing everyone's lives, but we're also changing our own life at the same time.
Well, exactly. Another question, we've got lots of questions here, but we probably don't have time for them all. But Angela says, how about teachers? What can they do to help students raise their self-esteem, especially when facing test results?
Well, one of the things is to tell children they have a phenomenal memory, that everything they've learned in that whole year of class has gone in, that the mind is rather like a storage vault. And if they just say to themselves, I have an amazing memory, I remember every lesson, I remember the answer to this question, the mind will make that. If you say, I can't remember a thing. So when children have exams and they're nervous, we can teach them to believe they have a great memory. We can teach them certain tricks, like if you fill up your mouth with saliva when you're anxious, it sends a message to the brain that says you're relaxed. So we're helping children. And as a teacher, when exams come up, don't say, oh my God, this is such a stressful time. So much is resting on this. Say, you are an amazing class. There's a wonderful teacher called Marva Collins who had such belief in her students, and it really paid back. But tell them, you've got a great memory. You have great powers of concentration. When you sit down with that exam paper, you're relaxed, it all comes back to you. Remember everything, you write it all out in just the amount of time. So don't make the class anxious, make them excited, make them believe they're ready and prepared and that they can do it.
Amazing. And I have to say, yeah, because obviously your program, RTT, is very focused on the power of words as well, isn't it? The words we say to ourselves, and affirmations and things. And I have to say, the one that I love that I got from you, which I say to myself every day, is I'm radiating lovability and irresistibility. I love it.
Magnetically lovable. You see, your words shape your reality. So if you don't like your reality, change your language, because that will change your reality. So change your reality, it changes everything.
Exactly. And just another question. I mean, you've kind of answered this, but if I'm not qualified in RTT, can I still teach my children
Oh,
techniques?
of course you can. Of course you can. Again, listen to them, be present, apologize to them a lot, help them believe in themselves. You can write into us. We have a lot of techniques that will help you with. So we've got a free program, a 5-day challenge. We've got a full year program that's paid for. We have a lot of resources to help parents. So write in and we'll help you be a great parent.
Exactly. And I'm going to put a link on the post to for the videos and things. But no, thank you so much, Marisa. Thank you, everybody. Marisa, is there anything else you want to say before we go? But thank you so much for coming on. And it's just, yeah, amazing.
Well, as a parent, believe in yourself too. Don't go, oh God, I'm messing up my kids. It's never too late to apologize, to sit down and to practice self-belief, to install it in your children at any age. There's so many books, and you should, and I have lots of YouTube tutorials that are free. If you go to marisapeer.com, we have lots of free audios on money blocks, wealth blocks, love blocks. So you can take as many as you like and they will help you. It's never too late. But
yes,
as a parent, believe in yourself, learn some great skills. Being present is the most important skill you'll have as a parent. Be present, believe in your kids, believe in yourself, and you'll do a better job. So thank you, everyone. And thanks, Jasmine. And I'll see you next time.
yes, thank you so much, Marisa. And I'm going to put the links to everything. And yes, see you soon, Marisa. Thank you so much, everybody. And I'll see you next week.
Bye.